How's it going, guys? Hank here, back at it again with another short video on the Review and Preview Sports YouTube channel. And folks, as always, if you want to see more videos like this, please don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Review and Preview Sports. And of course, please don't forget to hit that big red button down below. Give us a like, give us a comment, let us know your thoughts. We want to hear from you guys. And breaking news in this short video: Steve Nash, the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, has been fired. This despite a record of 94 wins and 67 losses in what was pretty much, two and maybe not even a third seasons manning the helm as the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. And while on the surface, that's a record that doesn't seem to be too bad. I mean, this is a guy who won a good amount of games. You have to look at the roster that he had. I mean, Kevin Durant was on the team. At one point, you had James Harden. Well, Kevin Durant still on the team. One point, you had James Harden. You had the head case known as Kyrie Irving. And then, of course, you had the Ben Simmons trade. And, in an alternate universe, we're probably not making this video. In fact, I would say we're probably a Kevin Durant three-pointer with his foot being just inches on the line away from having sort of a different video, because I really think the Brooklyn Nets that year probably would have gone on to maybe not win the finals per se. I mean, the Phoenix Suns were a tough opponent that year, but at the very least, it would have been they would have been in the finals that year for sure, because I think they definitely would have beaten the Atlanta Hawks in the conference finals. But that's really here nor there. And, fair or not, his tenure is going to be looked at as a failure. And for the simple reason, because despite all the star power that the Brooklyn Nets had, they were unable to win the championship. And not to mention, the other reason that he has been fired so far is that, again, even with the fact that Kevin Durant decided to stay in Brooklyn, and even with Kyrie Irving and all his random controversies, the Brooklyn Nets are only at 2-5. And management and ownership felt there was a need to make a change. Now, who ends up becoming the next coach? That'll probably be found out in a few days. I know Stephen A has been throwing around the name Mark Jackson. I don't know if that's necessarily realistic. He hasn't really been coaching in the NBA for a long time, so I'm not sure if that's even going to happen. And then I think the big name that's really being thrown around is Ime Udoka, who had a really bad controversy follow him as he was suspended by the Boston Celtics. But it seems to me that they're giving him permission to interview elsewhere. But the question is, with the many controversies of Kyrie Irving and then the other star drama with KD and then Ben Simmons being on the team, are we really sure that the Nets want to go the route of hiring a coach like Ime Udoka with all the baggage that is going to be falling around should he become the head coach in Brooklyn? I think that's definitely something to think about. But again, we'll probably figure out who their new coach is within the matter of a few days, and whether or not this is a spark that lights a fire under the Brooklyn Nets, that remains to be seen. But the fact of the matter is, even though I don't necessarily think that Steve Nash was essentially the main problem. I mean, look, should he have done better with this roster? Absolutely. And I mean, maybe you can find him at fault for some of the things that went wrong with the Brooklyn Nets. However, with that being said, he also had to deal with a lot of big egos. So I don't think this is necessarily his fault. In fact, I'm sure if I were him, I'd probably be feeling relieved to be getting out of that drama that is Brooklyn Nets. And can you imagine if he dealt with all that stuff? Had he been coached with the New York Knicks? I think that's neither here nor there, but change definitely was made, and we'll see how the Nets do going forward. But that's really all I have to talk about with regards to the Brooklyn Nets and the firing of Steve Nash. Once again, if you like what you see and you want to see more short videos like this, please don't forget to hit that big red button down below. And of course, please give us a follow on all of our social medias. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Review and Preview Sports. And of course, please don't forget to give us a like on this video as well and leave us a comment. What are your thoughts? Do you think the Brooklyn Nets were right to fire Steve Nash? Who do you think is going to become the next head coach of the Brooklyn Nets? Do you think this change will make Brooklyn a better team going forward? And what do you think happens with the Brooklyn Nets as a whole going forward? I would love to hear a lot of your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section. But until next time, I'm Hank and Dickner, and I will be back with another short video later on at some point in the near future. See you later, guys.